I so often get approached by people, by young lads who want to become psychologists. They reach out to me and they say, Stef, I can't find any purpose and meaning in my life. I don't know where to go with my life. I feel sort of tepid, inept. I feel weak. I feel sort of nihilistic. I feel like there's no horizon, there's no future. I don't know what to do with myself. And so I think the only thing that makes sense for me, the only thing that I think I should do is I should become a psychologist so I can help people and save people. What the hell are they thinking? What the hell are you thinking when you start thinking in this way? Listen to yourself. You're describing yourself as a nihilist with no assertion, no thumos within you. There's no fire in your blood. And you think that the thing that is going to give your life meaning is by going into a position of institutional power and then taking in other people and spreading this disease that lives inside your blood to new people. You think that that's going to be some type of good job. That's literally how a virus thinks. That's how a disease thinks. You are diseased as a human. You haven't found your spirit and your excellence. You haven't found the living, fiery will to power within you. And because you haven't found that, you're avoiding the hero's journey of virtue, courage, and facing fear, of physical excellence and a life of happy action that would require you to find that within you. You're avoiding that because you're a coward fundamentally, and you're going to go into the institutional psychological world and get positioned in there, and then because you haven't found that thumos, spread the antithesis, the nihilistic energy, the death drive that echoes within you to these new people that are coming up. You're going to become a nexus, a node for a virus to spread its disease throughout society and whatnot. This is the type of attitude echoing inside you when you want to become a psychologist. And you think it's so arrogant to think that I'm a good person. I'm a good person because I want to become a psychologist, when you're really just a nihilist. You're a nihilist without Christianity. Back in the day, what you would have done is you would have went to the church, because psychology and Christianity are fundamentally the same thing. What is the difference between confession and talk therapy? There is no difference. You go into confession, you release, you get off your chest all the bad things, all the bad sentiments and feelings you have, and the priest takes them, packages them up in magic jargon, and gets rid of them and gives you a catharsis experience. And of course, this is exactly what the psychologist does in the context of talk therapy. The psychologist takes from you all that stuff that's on your chest and they categorize it with a neurotic Oedipal complex or cognitive behavioral delusion or something like this. And then they package it away and throw it away and make you feel better. You get it off your chest. You get this sort of catharsis. And the person who goes into that priestly role, because the psychologist and the priest are the same archetype, the person who goes into that priestly role, they're fundamentally that nihilist, that person who was inept, the person who lacked the warrior spirit, the sort of soft person with the soft soul and the soft way of being, and to become that sort of lubricant in the world that allows people to sort of let their feelings out and release their feelings upon them, the good listener type of character. And this job, this role it's like a woman's role to a man. It's a consoling role. But it's not something that gets you a result in your life. It's not something that saves. It's a cushion. It's a sort of nice feeling, an Oedipal hug that you get, maybe off a priest, but you would expect off your mum or something like this. It's no real method of salvation. A psychologist and a priest are not going to save you. This is precisely why Nietzsche got so big mad at Christianity, is because the priests don't save. When you go into the priest and you look for salvation off them, they don't save you. They don't put you in the right direction. They decorate your mind with silly jargon that gets you confused and lost up in your neurotic head altogether. They get you stuck obsessing about words and symbols and all this type of stuff. But of course, salvation, meaning the actual changing of your emotions so you feel better, so you feel stronger, the only way that is ever brought is through the physicality, through the realization of what your passions and your body and your emotions and your psyche being a part of your body is trying to do. For example, the repairment and fixing of your nutrition, that's completely absent in psychology, completely absent in Christianity. But of course, 95% of your serotonin comes from your gut biome, so your diet is obviously something of prime importance importance, if you will. But of course, this is such a prime importance that you should be focusing on this as the first thing if you want to save someone. You want to bring them back into their body. You want to teach them how to use their vagus nerve and breathe again. You want to teach them how to assert themselves and take action. You want to teach them how their emotions are actually trying to express to them. For example, your anger is trying to express to you that you're actually a coward and you need to raise your standard and assert yourself upon the world. Your frustration is actually a symbol of your ambition, and you need to connect with that more strongly and allow it to carry you. And you need to actually work with people in this sense so that you dignify, divine, and spiritualize the passions within them, the body itself, and get very, very foundational in what's going on in here. It's a more pagan attitude, if you will, towards how things work. And the thing about this is that it actually works. It actually gets a solution. It actually solves. But the problem is that it's so reductionist and it's so difficult. It's so hard because in order to fix yourself, the priest can't do a magic spell. The psychologist can't do a magic spell. In order for this sort of body psychologist, if you will, to fix you, he has to basically make you be disciplined. He has to sit down with you and say, it's on you to fix your nutrition. It's on you to fix your mindset. It's on you to take action in the world. It's actually your ability to assert yourself. It's your ability to connect with the excellence of your will to power inside your fiery blood and let that out. And if you don't do that, if you don't have the courage to go for your assertions and go for your convictions and the discipline to fix your body, discipline your nutrition and train your body in order to get strong and healthy, you won't be happy. And so the pressure is actually on you. The pressure is actually about going into you and saying there is no easy solutions. I can't just let your feelings out, let you dump your feelings on me and make you feel better because you got to talk about them. I can't sit there and let you cry and make you feel better because you're allowed to cry or anything like that. I can't do that because that doesn't get any real result. It feels good in the moment. It's like a little orgasm, a little weeping, nihilistic, tragic soul orgasm, but it's not real. It's not effective. It's not an actual, tangible way towards salvation. Actual fixing comes from discipline and hard work and actually driving yourself towards real results. And the problem with that is that this is so obvious the more you actually wind back and look at what's going on. You look at actually what saves people's lives, and the healthy people who are already saved, the people who feel happy naturally, you'll notice that they don't go anywhere near psychology. They don't really care so much for Christianity. They don't go near ideology or religion or psychology. They push all that stuff aside and they focus on a life of happy action. They are drawn to healthy food. They are drawn to eating properly. They are drawn to these type of things. They are drawn to the idea of asserting themselves upon the world and working and getting stuff done. They are drawn towards being and living a life of happy action. They're drawn towards creating. And I've never seen someone in a bad place who is constantly creating. Creativity has some type of healing quality that brings salvation in an immediate sense in the way that most other things don't even get close. And these people find that and connect with that quite naturally. And if you look at what goes wrong with psychology, you see how on a first principle basis they make such a massive mistake with all of this. You see how you go into a psychologist is a broken person who never found their own will to power and position themselves in an institution in order to spread this disease among the populace. You see how you go into them and they, again, fill your head with new neurotic jargon and new neurotic ideas. You let that stuff off your chest and they rearrange it into some dazzling, confusing pattern that makes you think that you're making progress and feels good in the moment, but brings you absolutely no salvation at all. You see this happen, and what happens is they fundamentally don't solve your problems, and then over a long period of time, as your pains increase more and more, eventually they decide to give you a drug of some sort, give you some type of psychiatry solution. They give you a benzo, they give you an SSRI. And see, the thing about this is that it does work because they're actually dealing with physiology, the source of emotions in the body. The drug at least acts on the body properly. It doesn't focus on the little neurotic sphere of the left hemisphere. It actually works on the body itself. But what's so absolutely fascinating and tragic about this is that it's the wrong way to approach it. If you just fixed your diet, for example, you'd probably feel a lot better than if you took some type of drug of some sort. But of course, this is the paradox, the parody of the entire institution itself. It is a load of inept people with low will to power spreading on these problems and then permanently damaging people by prescribing them actual solutions that are far too strong and far too dangerous and far too unnatural in that type of sense. And so if I was to kind of click this all into gear, I would suggest to you that if you wished to save people, you must become someone worth admiring and worth following. You must become an inspirational hero. You must find the fire in the blood and release your will to power. And then you will have this an empowering effect on people and drive people towards actually taking on the world. Think of Conor McGregor inspiring people to work out instead of becoming fat. If you want to, I have to get under 10 minutes. If you want to work with me, link in description, and I will make your thumos go really, really strong. I will talk to you later. Apply now. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.